Start with some opening comments from Coach.
I'm really proud of the way the guys played, and I thought we had a good week of preparation, and it's you never know how games play out, and certainly, early it was a great big play by TJ and start us off, and almost on the flip side, offensively the first 2 drives ended in turnovers, and particularly the one that we're backed up, give the ball to the defense on the 5. I thought it was a huge response by our defense, and then I thought the offense did a nice job of answering the scores with a score and putting things together, and it takes a lot of guys to step up and contribute, and proud of the way they played and kept playing.
Jeff?
Well, once you got after the 2 turnovers, I think your offense had 3 scores on 4 possessions. Is that what you expect when they don't hurt themselves with penalties and don't give the ball away?
Well, I mean, I don't think you can always plan to score on every drive. It'd be good, though. But you want to play good football. We had also had a touchdown. I don't know what happened on that drive. We had the penalty. We got to just work on minimizing those mistakes that make it a little bit harder. And but I do like the way that they focus on the next play, and I think that's the way you got to play this game, and proud of that.
Jesse?
Paul, do you think Alex does generally a pretty good job of bouncing back from whatever mistakes it is? And if so, why is he able to block that out so quickly?
I think he knows that he has to, and the biggest thing about something that happened is what can you take away from it to help you go forward. And I think he's got confidence in himself and knows that, all right, this can do this better or whatnot. But he works at it, and I love that part about him. And he's got poise, but he's got a ton. It matters to him, and he does a lot. Quietly, guys know that he's into it and will compete. And I thought he did a lot of really good things today.
Tom?
Well, based on what you just said, he did do a lot of really good things after the pick. But
Right.
How does he eliminate that one bad pick? It seems like that's become a little bit of a pattern, and he plays really well afterward. But how do you eliminate the one pick?
I think you got to just keep – sometimes it's not there, or something, it doesn't go the way that you think it may versus that coverage or whatnot. And I thought that it seems to me like that's what you just kind of – you got flushed a little bit, and it's hard because everyone knows that when the quarterback's in rhythm, it's good. But he's got to, I think, continue to feel when he's out of it that, all right, maybe there's nothing there and come back to it. So I think that's – and you try to balance that with playing the game. And it's certainly you don't want him to be robotic. But I think you just continue to keep letting him see it and talk with him about what he saw, what he felt. And then you got to trust guys and go out and play. But, I do think that the way he responded was really impressive.
Gennaro?
Paul, how'd you like how Jonathan responded after his fumble, and how concerned are you by a second straight week with a turnover from him?
Well, I loved his response. And, you never want to turn the ball over. And obviously we got to continue to do a better job of coaching that, right, and helping them. Not one kid wants to – Alex didn't want to throw a pick, and JT didn't want to put the ball on the ground. And so we'll go back and look. And whenever someone's going through something, you try to find – the common things that's happening. And so I can't speak. I didn't get a great view of what happened today on it. But you just you make sure that they're in a position to go forward, and then you put your trust back into them. And that's the way that you grow, I think.
Jason?
Well, you mentioned the stop after the fumble, your defense, Scott. It seems like it's been sort of a common theme for them to step up in big moments lately. What do you think it is about that group that's allowed them to do that?
I think they're a good defense, and I think the coaches give them a good plan. But I think they relish those moments, and we got to stop letting them feel it that many times. But I think they compete, and that's the biggest thing. They compete, and we've got some guys that get big in those moments.
Jim?
Paul, it appears Fumagalli is getting back to his old self health-wise. What does that mean for this offense going forward, particularly like in third down where he's such a weapon?
Well, I think it's huge. You know, as the season continues to go, we're going to need everyone. And I thought Fum, for the first time since the bye, was playing fast in practice, and it carried over. And so, as you mentioned, he was big. You know, I think we were pretty good on third down, and I'll bet you he had a big part of those. You know, I know Q had one and AJ had one, but it was it's good. You know, we need everyone, and especially, you know, we had a smaller wide receiver group, and Fum needs to be that guy. You know, he's capable of it, and it was good to see.
Jesse.
How do you try and manage Jonathan's workload, especially since he's a freshman, or do you feel like he's done a pretty good job through 7 games?
No, I think he's been good, and you want to be attentive to it. I don't think it's a special number or something that way, and it's communication and making sure that you're doing a good job with him during the week. And, you know, tomorrow will be big for him. You know, how do you get your body back? And he's young, he's learning that. We got great assistants, you know, with that, and we got guys that have done it, and they can help him. And together, you know, make sure that every one of our players is ready for the next opportunity that we get.
Gennaro.
Paul, do you expect Maryland to run the ball the way they did in that fashion? And then you think your defense wear down a little bit there in the third quarter?
I think we did think that you know, Maryland's a good football team. They got a lot of really talented football players, and you know, we thought we saw on film what we saw today. That back will hit it up in there, and we were impressed coming into the game with their offensive line, and so you know, it's a game, and they have the explosive offense. You know, the 2 receivers particularly that you know, you got to defend the whole field on them, and I thought that, you know, they certainly got some runs, and yet I thought that our guys did a good job, and it was a game, you know, and wasn't surprised that they ran the football, and you know, that's kind of who they've been.
Coach,
JP, in the back.
turns out TJ Edwards is pretty good when he can play a full game. What do you think about his pick and then his job helping stop the run as well?
TJ's a really good football player, and I think that what I've enjoyed seeing is that he doesn't mind putting, you know, being one of those guys to spark our team, not just our defense. And you know, he works at it, and then I think he trusts his preparation, goes out and he has fun playing, and he's really enjoyable to be around.
Jeff.
Paul, you mentioned the wide receivers Maryland has. I know you guys were excited to face more today, and I think other than one big catch, he didn't do that much. Is it just a matter of you guys have in your top 3 corners that there really isn't that much of a weakness there for teams to exploit through the passing game?
Well, I think that, you know, ton of respect for him as a player, and yet it takes everyone. And I thought that, you know, there was times where, you know, we had good pressure on the quarterback, and certainly we do. You know, we put DT and Nick and Dante. You know, there's times when they've got the one-on-one, and they've got to compete, and I think Jimmy's doing a heck of a job of coaching them, and we just got to continue to grow, and everyone is a part of it, right?
What does it mean to have Taylor reach 1,000 yards and join such an elite group in this year?
Well, you're proud of all that goes into it, and you know, we got a lot more football to be played, and we got to continue to get better. But you know, those are you know, I think he's a really good back, and I think that's why, I think it's part of the reason why JT came here, is he wanted to be, you know, in the same. He wants to be a running back at the place where there's been some good running backs, and we got to help him continue to grow and become the best player he can be. And it takes everyone. I mean, it's fun when you watch good running plays. It's every guy in it and part of it, and JT knows that.
Jason.
Paul, when Chryst went out in the second quarter, what was your confidence level in Arrington at that point? I know he's still pretty new to that position.
Yeah, time to step up, and you gotta go. He practices all week, and you know, those opportunities come your way. You got to step in and step up, and I'm anxious to see how he did.
Tony.
lot of talk about Jonathan Taylor, obviously, but the offensive line in front of him from week 1 till now, it's been kind of a lot of rotations happening because of injuries. But just what kind of improvement have you seen from that group overall in the past 6-7 weeks?
I think they've been working, and yet every week is a different opponent, and so there's different challenges. And I think that they're a group that works, and they like playing with each other, and I think they like blocking for the guys. They did a nice job in pass pro. I don't know if we gave up a sack today, and yet we've got some guys that played football there. I mean, Michael Dieter's played a lot of football, and Bo Benchwell now has played a lot of football. It's fun seeing David Edwards continue to get comfortable at his position. And, certainly in the left guard, we've had some, Dietz and Urge playing, and I think that Tyler Biatch has been doing a heck of a job for a freshman. And obviously they give us a chance. And yet I know that there's room for them to continue to improve, and I think as long as they, and I don't know why they wouldn't, I believe in them that way, but just continue to build on the things we're doing well and find the areas we got to get better.
Jeff.
Well, I know it's early, but do you know at this point is Chris's injury something you would describe as minor, more severe, or where that stands?
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but just in talking to him coming off the field at halftime, he didn't make it sound like it, but we'll see.
Anything else, Coach?
All right, thanks.
Thanks.